evening, Gopher fans, and welcome to another episode of Sky U Pod, your college huddle Golden Gopher football podcast. Tonight we're recording a little bit earlier. No, I normally we're not, I know not. Wow, I know we're normally on Tuesdays. It's a short week for all of us, so we're going to do it a little bit earlier this week. We got the Friday night matchup against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I believe we opened as a 5.5 point favorite at home. It's gone up to 7.5 points. So the betting
Underdog,
favorite,
not favorite.
the betting favorite is liking the Cornhuskers in this one. But yeah, tonight it's me and Kurt from lovely Florida. Thanks for joining on your vacation. So how is it down in the Sunshine State?
It's beautiful. A lot of SEC fans down here at this current spot, but I do see a Buckeye flag out there too. I'm in a rental, so there's nothing really other than the plate saying Minnesota. I don't have any Gopher representation down here right now, but no, it's been good. Good vacation.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah, well, I guess we can start off with obviously the big news just in the Big Ten, but also all of college football. James Franklin fired by Penn State after now going 3-3 after losses to UCLA and Northwestern. Um, Kind of seemed like it was already trending not down, but James Franklin is definitely a name that has kind of been on the hot seat, just never able to really win the big one. Had good, made it decently far in the college football playoff, but did have wins over SMU and Boise State. So I guess that's kind of the asterisk on that. But yeah, then just he couldn't get over the Oregon loss, and losing to UCLA and Northwestern did it for him. So I guess at this point, Kurt, I know some of the rumors are around, Matt Rule, Kurt Signetti, Mike Elko at Texas A&M. Um, any names that stand out to you as like an obvious replacement, or does it seem like could they go from within? Like, do they just go with some new, young, fresh name? I don't even know where they go from
Right.
there.
Yeah. So, like you said, I don't think it was a huge surprise. I think the only surprise that was with it was if they're going to have that money for that
Right.
buyout, the 50+ million. It's now
Yeah.
the second biggest behind our buddy Jimbo Fisher. Yeah. So as far as names to replace him, some people have thrown out Lane Kiffin. I don't know if is Penn State. I think Penn State's got more resources than Ole Miss, but I don't know if Lane wants to leave that area with him kind of having his way. So I know I've seen
Right.
him thrown out. The name I think is interesting. Is it Kenny? What's his first name? Dillingham out of Arizona State.
Yep. Yeah. Kenny
I,
Dillingham.
I would be curious. I know Arizona State is like that's his place, that's his home, and he loves it being there. Like if he wants to go all in on that place, I get it. But if they were to go after like a young up and coming guy that has had success, that they just throw a big bag at that, I think Penn State is still significantly better than Arizona State. Even just going to the conference breakdown of being in the Big Ten. So that's a name I'd be really curious to see if he's willing to leave. He's like Dan Lanning ish, probably not quite as
Right.
like doesn't have like the Kirby Smart mentorship tied to him necessarily, but a guy that's showed a lot of success and is younger. And I gotta imagine that's kind of what they're going for, unless they are going like Urban Meyer, we want you, buddy, like making that deal with like whatever it takes to get a title, Urban Meyer. But yeah,
Right.
I don't know. None of the names seem super obvious to me, so I was a little surprised it happened mid-season, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see what they do. And it is interesting that, you know, the head coach of our opponent is getting rumored to possibly be a candidate, which I mean, it makes
Yeah,
sense. He's been successful, especially at the college level.
he's from there.
And I guess
He played there
that's
actually.
right.
I
Yeah,
don't
he
know if
played
he
at.
like played, but I have no idea. Like he doesn't look like a big guy. So did he actually play? I have
Well,
no
he
idea.
it looked like he was on the team, but not at. He wasn't at Penn State. He was just at Penn in the Ivy League, like
Matt Rule?
Pennsylvania. I believe so.
Oh, okay. I thought Penn State was an alma mater. I could be wrong. I've been in the sun all day.
Unless I'm thinking of someone else.
I
You
think
know what? I think I'm
Penn.
thinking of Mike Elko.
You are. He
Now
went
I'm
to
getting them
Penn.
all
I was
mixed
gonna
up.
say
I've been
it's
looking.
okay.
I've been looking at too many coaches in their
Similar
Wikipedia
builds,
pages.
and
No,
and
you're
so
right. You're right. Matt Rule did play at Penn State, or he was at Penn
yeah,
State. I don't know if he played.
I think he was on the team. I don't like I said. I don't know if but yeah. So he's a alumni. So listen, I think that'd be great for a lot of reasons. I would love to see that just make Husker fans sad. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do follow a couple of Husker people, and they're pretty active today, shooting down the rumors. But nothing's for sure. But they did bring up that if Penn State does go out and get Matt Rule, they just paid $50 million to fire Franklin, and then I think Matt Rule's buyout is like high $40 million. So you're basically paying $100 million before you even really pay Matt Rule to be
Right.
your coach. So maybe, maybe that is
Yeah.
their all-in move, and they get their guy that wants to be there forever. But I think it's going to be somebody that we're not really talking about. At least national media isn't really talking about right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess just a note on that too from our Husker affiliate at the College Huddle, the Common Fan. They did give us some notes for this episode. I know we weren't able to, get him on the show to do this preview, but they were nice enough to send us some information just on Nebraska and did include a couple notes on Matt Rule. And they said that the rumors that linked Rule to Penn State, it is kind of a concern. He did express love for Nebraska, but he didn't fully shut down any of the speculations. So they think that most believe that he will stay, but he'll probably get a raise out of this too. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
kind of like I'm sure PJ's going to get a raise after all these coaches have been fired this year. It seems like that always happens no matter what. But
He's got the
yeah,
best agent in the biz, we'll say that.
right. Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess moving on to the rest of our Gopher topics. We are halfway through the season. We're at 4-2. Has anything at this point changed your outlook on the season, Kurt, as far as your record prediction, or does it feel like we're kind of right at where you expected us to be?
No, I mean I preseason I think I had us 8-4. Um yeah, hope they don't go after Fickle Love them at Wisconsin. That's a There could be a ton of job openings after this year. Just it's funny how many
Yeah.
fan bases aren't happy with their teams. But um gosh, now I'm forgetting. Did I have a 7-5 or 8? I think I had us 8-4. Yeah, I don't think 8-4 is happening, to be honest, right now with the way this Gopher team's performing. Um it I think Danny Collins, first year defensive coordinator, it's a great story. Really nice guy. I think he's got a lot to prove here as this year goes on. Just with the tackling being so sloppy, the zone coverage still is like lost. They look like they're not sticking to a man when they drop back, and overall, just it's just been an underperforming unit. Um, the defensive line included. I love Devin Eastern. I love Anthony Smith. Um, Teams are just neutralizing those guys way too easily, and it's just not working out there. So I just don't. It's so weird too because it's like they're making like a tackle for loss or causing a turnover, or they're giving up just chunk plays, and then sometimes a
Yeah.
home run play, like the Purdue 4th and 2 from the 40 with the backup, just almost untouched. Did he even get touched? I think Mav touched upon him, but
Barely.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, to go all the way for 6, like that's not the only time it's happened either. Like the Purdue scrambling in from 3rd and goal from the 12 for a touchdown, like it's just we're not containing. All the fundamentals look off on defense. I'll say that. And then the offense, I think I've been known as a Harbaugh hater. um, Not much has been shown to change my mind, to be honest. Like I know some people are bringing up Matt Simon, the receivers coach, and I am blanking on our offensive line coach, but I believe he's been here almost all of PJ's tenure here. So
Right.
and listen, those positions are leaving a lot to be desired. But at some point, like how long is Harbaugh's leash? And I'd love to get your thoughts on that question in particular, just because it's great that we're showing an ability to throw the ball in this day of college football, which we really lacked prior to last year. But I just can't help but think about like, okay, Max Brosmer is an NFL quarterback. Like he's not on the practice squad. He just flat out made the Vikings roster, and our offense was only like good but not great, or like just okay, last year.
Right.
And so now we're really high on Drake Lindsay, but I'm just like Harbaugh's offense has needed a really good quarterback to even work. Like he couldn't do anything right when Athan was the QB here. I think he's got his system and his plays, and he's incapable so far to me of adjusting it to the players he's got. And yeah, I'd like to see the receivers get more separation. I'd like to see them catch more contested catches, balls. But like, it's just not working. And I'd like to do a deep dive on this because this is just gut feel. But I feel like the recruits on the O line are just as high, if not higher, than what we've had. And the O line is what's really taken a step back since Greg Harbaugh has been offensive coordinator. So yeah, I'm really concerned. I think PJ has to take a deep look in the mirror, and you gotta forget record. I think you have to see major improvement on where you're struggling. Because even if you're a team that's going to have a down year, and the Gophers definitely are as they go forward in this new Big Ten, they're going to have years where they're not on their A game. But like, you got to be able to show that you're getting better at something. Like, there's a lot of young guys on this team, offense especially. Like, you got to be able to show some sort of improvement. And right now, halfway through, I don't think they have. So that's what I'm watching
Right.
for. Um, Remaining games, like Nebraska's gonna be really tough this week. It's at home, which is nice, but you have Northwestern, Michigan State, and Wisconsin. Those are your three most winnable. You got to win all three, just get to 7. Um, and it's gonna be tough. And I think Northwestern might be the best of those three, which is kind of interesting. But yeah. So I am concerned. I don't think I think 6-6 is a lot more likely at this point.
Definitely. Yeah. No, preseason it felt like 9-3 was definitely the ceiling, and at this point, I think that comes way down. I think the ceiling is probably 7. I think 8 would be amazing at this point.
Yeah.
Um, just to just be able to kind of run the table, like you said, of all those winnable games plus Nebraska. Um, I mean, I was always going to be tough, and especially going to Kinnick, like
I have no
it's
hope for that game right now with how this team is playing.
yeah,
Like, all of their strengths are like right against our weaknesses, and
right.
yeah,
And that's kind of the point I wanted to make too about both offensively and defensively. Like, what are our strengths even at this point? Like, feels like we assumed the run defense would be pretty good, pass coverage would be questionable coming into the season just with where we're at with cornerbacks. Um, but yeah, like you said, the pass coverage itself has just been way too loose. The tackling's not been good. Too many mistakes in the run game. Defensive line's not getting much push, and they're not getting much pass rush and pass situations. Um, we've seen individuals make some pretty good plays and have some good performances, but we haven't had like a solid team defensive game really yet this year. I don't think. Um, and then offensively too. I mean, yeah, I really like what we've seen out of Drake. I think we have a lot of good wide receivers that can make plays. Darius, when healthy, is we know what he is. Unfortunate that the running back injury situation is what it is, but Femi Ijaboy has kind of emerged as a really good running back as well as a young player. All that said, our offense at times looks like the weakness of the team too, and like Harbaugh doesn't seem to really have a bread and butter. He doesn't have something that he can just go back to that is kind of like his old reliable play scheme. Um, and then yeah, the offensive line not being physical at all, it really seems like it limits what we want to do because obviously we want to run the ball first and then work the pass off of that. But it's like when you watch it just not work game in and game out, I know we've been trying to shuffle guys around, but like at what point do you just kind of okay, the whole game plan has to shift. Like your job as offensive coordinator is to make sure that your player is being put in the best position possible, and all he's done is just make these guys look worse somehow. Like Darius
yeah,
Taylor against Purdue, who's one of the worst, not just defenses, run defenses in the entire country. We made them look like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I don't know
yeah.
how you do that. And I don't know. It's like we see glimpses of
Something's. I was gonna say something's not right with Darius right now running the ball.
yeah,
I mean, he looks completely different just catching the ball. Like, it's like he
right,
runs differently catching the ball than he does getting handed the ball right now. It's like there's too much hesitation, too much dancing instead of just going. And I think that's why Feme has looked so much better, or at least our best back, is just he's making one cut and going, and he's just going downhill and breaking tackles while doing it. And I
yeah,
don't know if it's like from Darius's injuries or something, but he's just not breaking as many tackles and not running as downhill. But catching the ball, he looks great. So I would just use him as that is that kind of back right now, but till we get something
Right.
figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like at this point, it seems like to simplify it, we just need to do what we can to get the ball to our guys in space. Whether I mean,
Yeah.
some of the screenplays have worked, but like I talked about with Spencer too, in the post game, like we can't just run all screen passes all game long either. Like
I
that has
know.
to be the change up. You can't just
Exactly.
go
It's
back
like
to the
Harbaugh
well.
finds a play that works, and then he's just like, "Well, let's just run this into the ground," and it's just like,
Right.
"Okay, that's it. There's nothing to go off of."
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's like he inherited this offense that was all physical running and had nothing else to really balance it, and it's like he took
Yeah.
over, had this whole passing offense he wanted to run, and we just kind of left the run game behind, and it never went anywhere. Never it
Right.
and didn't maintain it either, and it's just I don't know
Yeah.
how long of a leash do you think Harbaugh has? That's what I want. Like, just
I
I
think it's
know no one
getting
knows what's going on in PJ's head, but like, what do you
right.
think?
I got to imagine it's getting shorter. I mean, we
Yeah,
saw it was pretty short with was it Mike Sanford Jr., the offensive coordinator
super
between
short.
Harbaugh and yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't think the offense has looked that bad yet because that offense was brutal and it felt like we ran just two plays left and right. So
yeah.
Harbaugh's at least got some I don't know. He's got some depth to his scheme that it seems like some
I,
games he can be run heavy and other games we can just air it out, but it doesn't seem to line up with like the way this offense is performing. Like it seems like he's
right.
just trying to. It feels like he's just searching for something to work, and nothing's really clicking. And
You mean flip
one
flopping
thing
left
too
and
that
right tackle didn't work? I,
right, yeah, yeah. If the guy's not effective on the right side, I'm sure putting him at the more difficult tackle will help
well, those
against.
are the two that are doing well. So it's like I
It's
don't know
true.
what that was gonna do. Like
Yeah,
maybe this guy next to him will give the guards more confidence. I don't understand what that was gonna fix, but
right. And at some point, like when do you just leave it alone? Just let him
I,
gel. It's like I don't
I'm
know.
yeah. I'm past the point of leaving it alone and just like, okay, well, we know the guys that are highly touted and we're expecting a lot from. Let's just see what they can do.
Right.
I would like to see Tony Nelson, Khalil Tafai
Yeah.
out there. Maybe
I saw.
Carroll. Uh,
Yeah. We've heard a lot about him.
yeah,
At this point, I don't know how highly they think of him, but I saw Reese Tripp on the sideline against. That's a big man. Like if we can get a big guy out there that brings some
yeah,
physicality to that offensive line, I'll take it. But yeah, I guess
and
to answer your question exactly on how long is Harbaugh's leash, I guess to me, I'm at the point where if this offense doesn't show improvement in this back half of the season, like significantly improvement and be consistent, where it's like okay, we can kind of see the plan and like where it can go and where it can work with this offense. If that's not the case, or if it keeps getting worse, I mean, we've seen him now with three different quarterbacks, two of them pretty
right.
talented. We've seen him with really talented running backs, really talented receivers, and some offensive lines that were experienced and not that bad. Um, I mean, if it's not getting better,
Right.
it's not like
One
it's
of the
really all on the players.
well, one of the benefits of having the lowest paid offensive coordinator, so many people like to point out, is that it should be pretty easy to cut bait. And I don't.
Right.
I'm not saying PJ will do that. I just think I'm with you. I think the clock's like the heat should be turned on now a little bit. So Dave chimes in here. Offense line's been a huge run blocking problems. They do. And here's the thing though. Even if Harbaugh was stuck with bad lines his entire time here, which I don't really think is the case to be honest. But even if that was, I would like to see like at least an adjustment to try something else. Why do if we're struggling to run the ball, why do we still go shotgun and bring like two tight ends on and bunch it all in
Right.
tight? We bring everyone into the box. We never
Right.
spread it out. Hey, our whole line's block like struggling to run block. I know, like let's just get everyone packed in here down tight. It makes zero sense. Like that's the kind of thing I'm saying. Like why don't we have a little bit of flexibility in how we're trying to run our stuff, or at least help them out a little bit? I don't feel like he does
Right.
that. It's like, hey, this is the play, this is how we want to run it, let's go execute it. And they're not executing it. And yeah, that does fall a little bit on the players, but if you're a coach and can't adjust to anything to help your guys out, what good are you, I guess? You're
Right.
right, though,
Right.
Dave. The lines have been an issue, both and you're right. It's usually both against the run, although we're not creating much of a pass rush right now either. So a lot of issues going on,
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
right. Yeah, but hopefully they just figure it out. It's that easy, right? Just do it.
That's right.
No. Yeah, well, we can get into more of this Nebraska breakdown. We can start with, I guess, our offense against their defense since we're on the topic of Harbaugh.
Sure.
I guess, looking at some of the numbers and just watching back a few of their more recent games, I think it's pretty clear that their pass defense is definitely their strength, um, but not necessarily. I mean, they don't really generate like a ton of pass rush. It's really just their coverage has been pretty excellent, and they've gone against pretty decent quarterbacks. I mean, Aiden Childs at
Yeah.
Michigan State, and then the young guy at Maryland. Like they're pretty solid quarterbacks. Both of them mobile, which we don't have. So it'll be interesting to see, how their defense attacks Drake Lindsay and his lack of mobility, unlike the last
Right.
two quarterbacks they've faced. Um, but yeah, I mean their pass defense is good. Run defense is okay, but I feel like at this point, I don't know how much really matters for us. Like we haven't shown it against Rutgers or Purdue, so I think it's more on us than them at this point. But yeah, I guess your thoughts on our offensive matchup.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the same thing, and shout out to the common fans they sent that over to. Their defense is currently 82nd nationally. But like you said, Purdue I think was even worse than that, and we didn't run it for crap against them. So I'm not
Right.
sure how that's going to work out. Let's see. So well, here's what I think they're going to do. I think they'd be stupid not to just go out and play man coverage since that's what's been giving us fits. I mean, when people sit back and play zone, even with good athletes like Ohio State had, Drake Lindsay was able to move the ball down the field. So I think teams are going to limit the amount of zone they play against us as much as possible just because of how good Drake Lindsay's shown to be. So receivers are going to have to win some one-on-one matchups for sure. Something I'd like to see the Gophers do there is get the tight ends more involved, just because I feel better in them maybe winning a little bit more jump ball type plays over the middle against linebackers and safeties than these receivers against some DBs from Nebraska who've been pretty good. Um, I'd like to be. I feel like Jamison Gears has kind of slid into a Lemecki Brockington of yesteryear type role, where it's like we get one nice play out of him per game, and then we don't really use him anymore. It's kind of taken on that approach. It is what it is, and like yeah, like if we're gonna win this game, the O line's gonna have to generate something. Like I don't know, maybe the Husker defense that has struggled against the run. They used to be really good at it under Rule. Just the last 2 years, they were pretty good against the run. It's not been the case this year, but I'd love to get Feme involved and just go downhill. I think you're gonna have to get like just dives, ISO, power, like just some downhill runs because Drake Lindsay's not going to be able to drop back 50 times and beat these guys. Like they've been really good against in their secondary coverage. So
Right.
I'm not holding my breath, but you're going to have some kind of off, like be able to throw them off balance a little bit with something in their own game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's the other note too from the common fan is they said that they're seeing a slight regression from Rule's early defensive success. But they said there's a younger unit that has been improving steadily. Which I believe this is their first year with their new defensive coordinator, right? Or was it last year that the
Yeah,
new guy took
no, this
over?
year Tony White left for Florida State after
That's
last year.
right.
So
That's
I
right.
just like to bring that up that he left for the same position because Husker fans like to poke fun at Gophers for like when their positional coaches leave for a better job. He left
Sure.
Nebraska for a better job as well. So just want to make sure that got noted.
That's fair. I did see actually I can't remember his name now, but yeah, the defensive coordinator who was at Nebraska's new defensive coordinator. I think at one point was at Minnesota special teams coordinator. I think maybe 5 6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, maybe
Hmm.
longer than that. But a name I had not recognized, and then I saw in his previous coaching history that he was here at the U. So I thought that was interesting. Um, Not that it really makes a difference, but yeah, no, I agree with pretty much everything you said. The run game is only going to help out the pass game, but if they're just stuffing us for whatever we try to throw at them on the ground, then you know advantage them because their pass defense is already that solid. So if they can just sit back in coverage,
Oh yeah.
and it's gonna be it's gonna be
On
tough
paper,
to
it's advantage Nebraska all the way. So
definitely. Yeah, yeah. Um, I guess defensively, we all know Dylan Raiola. Obviously, he's a sophomore quarterback. Just some
Cosplay
notes.
Mahomes.
That's right. Literally, when I was watching and like writing stuff down, I kept having to stop from writing Mahomes does this because I just keep
Yeah,
thinking that that's who I'm watching. He's not. He's nowhere near as talented. I don't think. I don't think anyone would claim that he is, but he can
right.
make some plays. He's got a very live arm. He is creative in some of the throws he can make, but I guess just some of the notes too from the common fan. He's got a 73% completion percentage. He's thrown for 1,591 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. All 5 of those have come in the last 3 games. Um,
Yeah,
so it seems like I don't know. He's playing tougher competition at this point, getting into the Big Ten schedule. Um, they said he's really not a dual threat quarterback like some people think he is, and they do. The biggest kind of knock is that he sometimes probably holds the ball too long.
yeah,
Um, but despite some of those mistakes, they said that he has been a clutch performer and he's been key to Nebraska's success, which he has. I mean, some of those late game comebacks, he's definitely been able to spark some offense out of them. But
yeah.
yeah, Riola's obviously the big name, but they got a lot of athletes. I actually think their running back Emmett Johnson is
He's
probably going to
great.
be the biggest problem we face this game. A kid from Minneapolis, actually. This is kind of his homecoming. He played at Holy Angels. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep him home, but yeah, he's a really aggressive running back, and they do exactly what I wish we could do. Is they just get downhill, they run between the tackles, um, and then they got athletes to make plays off of that. So it's gonna be tough for this defense, definitely.
Yeah. The one thing about Rayola, he's a guy that does. I mean, I get the Mahomes comparisons are brought on by himself just because he tries to like literally copy every single habit that Mahomes has, which
Right.
it is what it is. Um, it's weird, but we'll leave it there. Uh, he does tend to get flustered. Like he is somebody you can kind of mentally rattle, and I think that's where some of those mistakes have come. That being said, we just talked about how we haven't been able to generate much of a pass rush. So I keep saying this, and I mean it. I don't think I'm taken seriously, but I wish we would move Anthony Smith inside back to D tackle for a lot of the time, especially when we're expecting run situations. I think he's overall your best defensive player. I think it's worth a shot because you've been getting gashed on the ground lately. So, and they like Jackson Howard, they like Mentz as well on the outside, or you can move Jalen Logan Redding to that spot. He's played edge in the past as well, so it's not that weird of a flip flop to do. And I would try and let Devin Eastern and Anthony Smith kind of clog up the middle and force them to the outside because your edge players have been your better players so far this year. So that's something I would like us to try. I'm not expecting that, but even if we're not going to do that, here's what I was going to say. I think your best bet is we're going to play a lot of man because the zone coverage has been bad. I want to load up the box, and I know they got great athletes. They have receivers that can run. I just think I want to take our chances getting after Rayola, and we're going to have to probably blitz to do that. So I'd like to blitz and get after him and try and force some of those bad decisions that he's made a little bit here the past couple of weeks. But it's kind of living and dying by the blitz. So he's definitely going to hit a couple on you while doing that. He can extend the play really well. He's good at that, but I just think that's your best chance just with how much we've been struggling. And maybe you don't start off that way. Maybe you do try and play your normal bend but don't break approach and make them prove it that they're ready to play that game. But if you're getting gashed and Rail is picking you apart, I want to load the box and just go after him. I think that's your best bet to win this one.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I totally agree, and especially too, it seems like the offensive line has had some issues too in protection as well. So
Yeah,
if there's anything we can do to at least just cause confusion, and if we can get some guys loose or you know bust up a play here and there and get them in those long passing situations where Rayola does have to make something happen. I feel like when they're ahead of schedule and they can kind of do whatever they want, that's where Rayola can kind of run around a little bit and make some plays when it's second and short, third and inches. Like
yeah,
it's kind of like lower risk. He can kind of go out there and dance around as much as he wants because it doesn't really matter. But when they are backed up and he is under pressure, it seems like he is good at escaping some of the pressure, but he doesn't have that like explosive burst to just run away from defenses. Like he
Sure.
can, he's got a little bit of like that wiggle and kind of short area quickness, but he's not just gonna take off and run for 10, 15 yards. And
Right.
it
He's
seems
gonna
like
extend the
when
play. He's not gonna
right,
necessarily run for 20 yards.
exactly. Unlike Purdue's quarterback, where it felt like he could just run past anyone on our defense.
Right.
But off of that too, even though when Raiola does extend plays and he will avoid maybe the first sack, like it seems like once he gets out of the pocket or once things kind of fall apart a little bit, that's when most of his mistakes happen. Like he's not he's best when he's just comfortable in the pocket and can just drop back and pass or get the ball out quick. But I don't know. But like we said, I mean, we've had trouble getting to the quarterback, and if we
Yeah.
can't, cover well either, it's gonna be tough.
Tyler
Comment.
says, Tyler Randall, we know that guy, going to the games, try to rock with the maroon and gold this weekend. He's got to clarify because he's usually a Ducks fan, folks. But thanks, Tyler. We appreciate that. My brother's actually down here this weekend, and he is flying back about a day early. He's flying out. Actually, he just told me. I think Thursday night. Yeah, he's flying out Thursday night to get back for the game with his girlfriend, who's a Husker. So that'll be nice to win it and ruin her day. But um, it'll be
Yeah,
good. I just want to touch about the receivers, and I'm like more of a credit to Raiola. Like, there's a lot of guys. He spreads it around to who's open, right? You got Hunter with 22 catches, Barney Jr. with 26 catches, Dane Key, who I believe is the guy they paid a lot of money for out of Kentucky. He's got 20 catches, and they're all kind of around the same yardage. Hunter with 415, Barney Jr. 364, Dane Key with 269. So they do a good job of spreading it around. And yeah, like Emmett Johnson, we talked about him, the running back. I think like it'd be nice to get to hitting him early because behind him, the backs haven't had a ton of success. So he's really the main guy. Like when he's in, load up, and if he's not on, obviously it's probably more likely a pass. But um, yeah, we're gonna need him to make some mistakes, I think, to get this one.
definitely. Yeah. Well, I guess we can get into keys to the game and score prediction. And I guess we can just maybe start with the common fans note.
Yeah, let's
So
do it.
they do a note on Minnesota. So they just said that Nebraska fans respect Minnesota's recent dominance. They've not beat us since 2018, though PJ Fleck is polarizing. Uh, they said the Gophers could win by controlling tempo and forcing mistakes, but Nebraska's path to victory is going to be run the ball, stop the run, and avoid self-inflicted errors, which would make sense.
Yeah,
So they're predicting a Nebraska win, 30-21. They're cautiously hopeful on the outlook to kind of have that breakthrough win they have not had against Minnesota in a while.
I
Um,
haven't won since 2018.
yeah,
But let's
yeah,
not
the
forget,
Gophers are.
Max, the $5 bits of broken chair are on the line as well for this one. Little made up trophy
That's
we got going on.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. How could you forget about that?
I don't even know. Do the players even touch it? I think it's like the managers, like the team
I don't even
managers
know. Does that
handle it.
one go up in the trophy case, or is that just kind of
It
lay in a
does not.
closet?
No, it's not acknowledged by the schools, unfortunately. But it's kind of a
Right.
cool thing. It's turned into like a fundraiser for
Right.
like the two charities at the school. So that's kind of a cool thing. But
Yeah, I do like that. And I do appreciate that they do that. But yeah, the trophy itself, cool.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I didn't realize this either. I saw something about like it's a chance for Minnesota to win it back, and I was like, win it back? What are you talking about? Well, since we don't play Nebraska every year now, they've included volleyball in the trophy
Oh, okay. I
games.
didn't know
So
that.
Nebraska volleyball apparently beat Minnesota volleyball.
Hmm.
So we got to
Okay.
win it back now. We've been beating them in football these years, but
Well, can we add
still
a?
lost the
Can we add?
trophy.
I mean, Nebraska is a women's volleyball school, so can we add it to like hockey or something? Something that we're a little better. I don't know. Are we
How's
better
what
at
about bat?
wrestling them?
Yeah,
Probably
is
not.
Nebraska
Nebraska
good at
seems like a
basketball?
ah.
I know we're no good, but well,
They're
new coach.
historically bad at basketball. I don't know. I think they just made the tournament like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think they've won a tournament game in like either ever. It might be ever, or like if it's not
Hmm.
ever, it's been like 50 years. It's been something crazy. So basketball seems like a good fair sport to add it into, but we'll keep it football.
Yeah. Well, well, there's us showing off our knowledge of Nebraska athletics,
Right.
what they are or maybe not good at. But yeah, hopefully we get the broken chair back. Do you want to start with your keys, Kurt?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it. Like, I guess key one would be able to stop the run, and I just say that because Rayola has shown like made some mistakes, and I just think that's their best bet. So try and make them one dimensional. I get it, easier said than done. Um, Key number two is your receivers, tight ends, gonna have to get a separation and b catch contested footballs. Like it's gonna be tough sledding offensively. Um, and third, I do think that like Nebraska's had pretty good special teams this year, so I think you're just gonna have to win the field position battle there and make no mistakes. Hopefully, Coy can break off a big return, but again, our punter's been going pretty well. I think he's punting pretty solid. Mr. Weston, I think is it Tom? I forget his
Yep.
first name, but Weston has been pretty well, punting pretty well. So I think that would be big too, just to make them actually go the full length of the field if the defense can be disciplined. So I guess my score prediction. I'm trying not to be too down, guys. And I'm not always a buyer into the Nebraska hype. I do think they have our number this year, and I did predict this preseason. Just not all negative. I just think on a short week, I don't like us fixing what we need to get fixed for this, but I hope I'm wrong. I have Huskers 28, Gophers 13. So got Nebraska taking this one.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Um, yeah, I think my keys are kind of similar too. The first one is really just we have to win the physicality battle in the trenches, both offense and defense. Offensively, obviously, to try and get the run game going, and that's gonna be our easiest path to success against this defense, just because their pass defense has been so good, and our receivers had just for whatever reason had issues getting open. Drake can make some good passes, but if we can open up the run game a little bit more, um, hopefully that helps out everywhere else. And the defensively, like we talked about, stopping their run first is going to be key. Otherwise, they're just going to have a field day. So if we're, physical in the trenches, not missing tackles, and then being able to establish a ground game, that's going to be kind of key number one. Number two, kind of off of that physicality up front on defense, is just going to be keeping Rayola on the move. Um, I hope it's by creating pressure and disrupting him on passing downs, but it could just be, if we play tight enough coverage or better coverage where he has to go through all of his progressions and kind of make something happen, it does feel like he will hold on to the ball and that pocket will collapse around him. So it doesn't necessarily have to come off of any exotic blitzes or, down up any crazy pressures. It could just come from solid pass coverage and he, hopefully just forces himself into a mistake, which they've been getting a lot of turnovers on defense, but they have been turning the ball over a fair amount as well. So if we can win that
Right.
turnover battle because we're keeping him on the move, um, that's gonna be key for us. Then the last one, just on the special team side of things, just no big returns. They've got really good athletes, and like you mentioned, that I think Ja'Cory Barner, he's dangerous as a punt returner. The last few games,
Yeah.
especially, he's made some really big plays that can flip the field for him. So, like you said, if Weston can keep up the punt game, no returnable balls or nothing that's as long as the coverage is tight. If it is returnable, we just got to make them drive the length of the field. So for this one, I was really going back and forth on how I wanted to pick it. I'm going to go with this. Maryland. This is their back-to-back road game, and they're coming
That's
off. It is
true.
a short week for the both of us, but it's a short week for them. They just had to travel all the way back from Maryland. Um, it might be a little bit windy, possibly rainy Friday night here in Minneapolis. So if we get a sloppy one out of Nebraska and we figure out some things to just show some improvement on both sides of the ball, we're going to go Minnesota 24, Nebraska 23 in just
Heck
a
yeah.
terrifying win on
I
Friday
hope so.
night.
Hey, there's always that chance that Nebraska stays Nebraska and just has back-breaking
Right.
turnovers and gives it away. So kind of like Purdue did.
Yeah.
So we'll see if
Right.
that can keep it going.
Right.
I would love it. I'm not. I'm trying to pick a clear headed. It's tough for me to get over the negativity that I see after a certain Gopher games. Like I just want to. Can we
Right.
give Feme Ijiboy the ball? He had one freaking touch in a in a very close game against Purdue. So
Right.
I
And a reception, no less. Like we didn't even
yeah,
hand it. Like we didn't even give our most productive running back a carry.
it didn't make any sense to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
just I want to see some attempted adjustments, and if they're the better team and they beat us, so be it. But let's just I want the coaches to prove it to me that it is on the players, if that makes sense. But
Right. Right. And the players have shown like they don't panic when things start going south, and they do, keep themselves in the game, which is good.
yeah,
Like, and especially one like this, like Nebraska's probably the better team. Like right now, especially. I mean, they've been playing better. They've probably got just more talent. At least they've been
yeah,
showing like they have more talent. So, like, and the betting public agrees. They're a seven and a
right.
half point road favorite on a short week on a back to
It's
back travel schedule.
so
Like,
I think it opened at either 4.5 or 5.5, and I think on FanDuel it moved all the way to 9.5. It moved to 9.5 points, Nebraska. So
yeah, yeah,
I was gonna throw a coaching carousel question at you, but I think it's too early in the season for it, so I'll punt on that question. We can get into our Sky Pod parlay locks if you want.
yeah.
Do we have Spencer's?
I don't think we got one from Spencer, but we can do ours, and
We'll
we're
add
doing this
it.
early, right? So
Yeah,
we
right.
can we can add it in tomorrow or
In the
Wednesday when we get it from
graphic,
them.
we'll post
That's
it on
right.
YouTube and X. So check it out, folks. All right. It hit last week, by the way. We got our first
Did
hit of the year. No time to start like I was gonna say present, but that was last week. So let's keep it rolling with week two. This is a big game too. Notre or USC just got that big one against Michigan. They travel to Notre Dame. They're getting 9.5 points, and I know it's on the road, but I think even if you think Notre Dame's better than Michigan, I think Michigan is every bit as physical as Notre Dame, and that's really the biggest concern you usually have with USC in these matchups. So I'm going to take USC plus 9.5, and I know that's a rivalry game, so I don't think they're looking past the Irish
yeah,
at all, obviously. So I'm going to take USC
definitely.
plus 9.5.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that pick at all. Um, yeah, USC is pretty explosive. I feel like giving them over a touchdown is I like
Yeah,
it.
I was double looking at that, but I don't know. This might be the classic Vegas gotcha.
Right. Yeah, as long as it's not a letdown for
Right.
USC. But I mean, it is a huge rivalry. So for mine, I'm gonna just take the best team in the country to just keep dominating against one of the deadest teams in the country. Ohio State, 24 and a half point favorite. They were 26 and a half, and it's come down. Um, I don't know what Wisconsin does from here, and
Oh,
Ohio
yeah.
State has not slowed down. So give me Ohio State minus 24 and a half. I think it is at Camp Randall, but I don't think it'll matter. It's been pretty dead there as well. So we will roll with
Yeah,
the Buckeyes.
I don't hate that at all. I
And there's
was
no longer a look
shocked.
ahead with Penn State being where they're at. So
Right. I was shocked that Nebraska or I'm sorry, Wisconsin just came out so dead against Iowa. Like I
right,
thought I went on JR's show talking about like we had to pick an upset. I picked the Badgers over the Buckeyes just because I
yeah,
thought Fickle would really be all in on that game as like his last chance to get a meaningful win on the year or like
right,
start with that battle against Ohio State and try and roll from there. It was at home at night and there was nothing there to them. So I love
yeah,
that pick. They are dead in the water and yeah, I hope they can't afford his buyout because I hope he stays there.
right. I know of all the dead teams, none of them have coaches anymore. So I feel like Fickle's just looking around like, am I what? can I just be let go? Like, what am I doing
Like
here at this point?
it sounds like Franklin is gonna have some other opportunities if he wants it. Like I, I don't know if it's confirmed, but like Virginia Tech might be interested in him. So that would be interesting. But like I don't think Fickle has that same appeal. Like you're
Right.
right. This was his first chance at the big job. Like he had Ohio State as an intern
Yeah.
job, and he went like 6-6, and now he's failing at Wisconsin, where a lot of people thought he'd take off. So yeah,
Right.
that might be but he might get paid 30 mil to not work. So my company, if you're watching, I'm open to the same deal. But
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was the famous Coach O quote after he got fired from LSU. He said he knew his buyout number and he said, "Yeah, you tell me what door to go out of. Like, I don't
yeah,
care. Like,
yeah,
I'll do whatever you say if you're going to pay me that much
right.
money." So, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll get Spencer's busy. He's in medical school, so we'll let him get caught up on the week of games and take a look and I'm sure he'll have the third leg winner for us.
That's right. You should go through the picks right now because I was just looking at the slate and it's pretty good.
It is good. Yeah, we can pick some games here. We can start on Friday night. Louisville goes to Miami. Miami's a 13.5 point favorite at home. I don't know. I think Louisville is a little underrated. They've had some sloppy losses, but I would just take the 13.5 points with Louisville. I mean, I think Miami's a top five team right now, but
Yeah.
Louisville, I don't know. I think they could show some fight in this one. I think they're better than the record shows. Friday night slop. I don't know. I'll just take the
Yeah,
points
I
with the
was.
Cardinals.
It's funny. I was gonna say Brom on a Friday night seems like a scary situation. I don't think anyone wants to see. I don't think anyone wants to see. Um, yeah, I'm kind of waiting for Miami to come back down. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I,
they've looked
I told.
legit.
I get. I totally get what you're saying. I'm just. I'm just gonna go with Miami right now, just because I haven't really seen any letdown yet. So I'll just stick with the Canes at home, I guess.
Yeah. No, I can't really argue against it. I don't know. I just think it's too
No,
many
yeah,
points. But I
I
don't think
get
it'll be
that.
like a shootout or anything. Like I don't expect Louisville to win or anything like that. But
Right.
next one, kind of surprising, but I mean, this team has played pretty well. LSU is at Vanderbilt. Last I looked, Vanderbilt was just a 1.5 point home favorite. I think I'm gonna take the Doors because I feel like
Really?
they've. I think LSU. I
You
feel like
think
I was
they're
high on
fraudulent?
LSU preseason.
I
I just
was.
feel like they haven't been. They haven't quite figured it out in some ways, and they just haven't looked all that physical either. And
The
Vanderbilt,
offense is weird.
the offense is weird, and I don't know. Vanderbilt will just pound you on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to take Vanderbilt and the Fighting Diego Pavias to do it at home.
I gotcha. If that does happen, I don't want to hear how deep the SEC is because I like
Right,
LSU was everyone's. Like a lot of people picked them, not a lot, but a good amount picked them to win it all, and like SEC, ESPN media people, and like that's
right,
fine. But like if they're gonna lose to Vanderbilt after they lost to Ole Miss pretty handily, get that talk out of here. My
right.
pick though, I think Vandy hasn't really beaten anybody yet, and I know they played Bama tough. They could bounce back, but I just think it's a must-win game for Brian Kelly, so I'm gonna take the Tigers.
Yeah, no, I can't argue with that either. And I do think LSU is like the better team overall still, but they just haven't. I don't know. I don't
It's
trust
like
them
it's
as
like they haven't
much.
waken up to take this season seriously yet. After the
Right,
Clemson win, it's like they're just like, all right, yeah, we are pretty good. And I
right.
still that quarterback has struggled too, and I like him. Nussmeier, I still think he's a good
Yeah,
quarterback. It's not clicking for them.
right. Yeah, yeah. The next one here I've got going to the Big Ten. We've got the Washington Huskies go to Michigan. Michigan is a 5.5 point favorite at home. Um, man, I think I'm not. Oh. It's like, is it a bounce back spot for Michigan, or is Washington kind of like getting things rolling after they just dumped on Rutgers?
So I think Washington's ceiling is higher than Michigan's this year, but at the same time, I don't really trust Washington. Like, I don't
Right.
know, like their offense, they'll just go away for long stretches of the game, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we have two really good receivers, a dynamic quarterback, and maybe the best running back in the country. So I'm gonna
Right.
go because the Huskies are getting that many points. I'm gonna just take the Huskies, I guess, and I think it's gonna be a close dogfight game. So I'll go Huskies.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think I'm going to take Washington as well. I think they could definitely keep within a field goal, if not win. But
Right?
it's a tough travel going to the big house.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, we agree on Washington. Um, the next one, another team that I think is very overrated. Ole Miss goes to Georgia. Georgia's a 7.5 point favorite, coming off a win at Auburn
Wow.
or against Auburn. Um, but I'm going to take Georgia. I just think this is.
Think
I
so?
think last week was their wake up call a little bit. I feel like Kirby Smart has these games where it just things don't look right, um,
Yeah.
and then the very next week they have a big opponent and they just don't give up points. And I think Ole Miss, like LSU, is maybe even less physical, and they still beat them. So gonna take the dogs.
Really, man, I feel like the only Ole Miss game I've really watched was that LSU game. So in my head, I think they're okay, but like, and I have seen some Georgia games, and they have not looked very good. In fact, I know they were. That sound might be on my end. I apologize. I'm getting some breakup noise. I don't know
Oh,
if that's just on my end. Might be just on my end.
I don't
Anyway,
hear anything.
okay, I'll just shut up then. I I know they were Spencer's pick, but the refs kind of helped us out there. As Auburn got kind of the short end of a stick on it, of a short end of the
Yeah,
stick on a few of those calls. But all that being said, I just thought it would be a closer game, so I guess I'll take Ole Miss.
right.
If they can lose by 7 and still cover, I'll take that. I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it was just under 7 yesterday, and I think it's bumped up a little bit. Um,
Okay,
but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if Georgia plays their best game, they could beat Ole Miss. I think they could beat anyone by
sure.
a couple scores. Not
Yeah,
maybe
yeah. I
not
don't
like
feel
an
good
Oregon
about
Ohio
it.
State, but
I'm not putting my own money on it. But
right. Yeah. All right. The last three we've got a couple big rivalry games. We got Tennessee goes to Alabama. Bama's an 8.5 point favorite at home. Um, coming off their Alabama had a pretty close game against Missouri. Um, and then Tennessee. I feel like I haven't seen much Tennessee lately, to be honest with you.
I saw
Um,
their Georgia game.
that's that. Yes, I did see that one too. Um, man, I think I'm going to take Tennessee in the
Okay,
points. I
I'm
just
sorry.
think their
Who's home at
offense
this
can
one?
kind of.
Bama.
Alabama's at home.
Yeah. Bama's on quite the stretch here. Holy crap. But
Yeah,
Ty Simpson, man, I know people get sick of the SEC bias because he's kind of risen to number one in the Heisman polls. I think it's rightly deserved. I think he's rolling. And
yeah,
I thought Missouri was going to get the job done. I picked Missouri to upset him last week. Didn't happen. So I'm not going to pick against the Tide again. I'll take Alabama at home there.
yeah. That's fair. Yeah, no, Ty Simpson's looked really good. I think he's looked really good despite having obviously the receivers are very good, but
They drop
they
a
drop
lot of
so many
balls.
passes. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I
That
feel like sometimes I watch and I'm like, what's happening?
Ryan
Yeah,
Williams needs duct tape on his hands because once he
right,
has the ball, he's amazing. But if
right,
catching the ball has been a little bit of an adventure, so
definitely. Yeah, that's when I hope I hope it just comes down to a shootout, kind of like the Georgia game did, and Tennessee's
yeah.
just chucking the ball up all game and keeps it close. But yeah, we won't pick USC Notre Dame since that's our lock, and I would have been on USC as well. So we'll go
Sweet.
to the Holy War. We got Utah at BYU. BYU is a 3.5 point home dog. Um,
I have seen zero BYU football this year, to be honest.
I've watched more than I'd like to admit, but
They're 15. I'm shocked
they're
they're that
they're
high.
yeah, they're very solid. Well, I feel like everyone kind of wrote them off after Retzloff transferred, but their freshman Barry Bachmeyer's looked pretty good, and they've got some good receivers.
So
Um,
why are they dogs, Max? Tell me why are they dogs? Because that three and a
well,
half at home's looking tempting.
if I had to guess, it's because Utah's defense is that good, and BYU I think is kind of banged up. I feel like I feel like I've seen in every game I've watched, I feel like they have multiple defensive players just leave with like getting helped off the field. So I don't know how thin they are on defense. Um, and it is a true freshman quarterback still, even though he's played well, he will make mistakes. But man, I think I will take the Cougars in the 3.5 at home, just it is that big of a rivalry. And Utah, as good as they are defensively, offensively, it feels like I don't know, they're just kind of like sluggish in a way. And BYU's got some explosive playmakers. So if they can just keep it within a field goal, I'll just take them at home. All right. I was hoping you'd be back by the time I ended that.
These condos you rent, man, I tell you, stuff is really going downhill. It's not how it used to be.
Oh, that was
I'll
perfectly
take
timed.
Utah.
All right. That's fair. No, Utah definitely the better team. I feel like if it was at Utah, I'd be taking the Utes by definitely more than
Oh,
three
you
and a
took
half. But
BYU? I thought you were talking me to Utah.
I don't know. I was just talking, and then my brain just picked a side.
All right. Well,
Sometimes I look at these games and I just think of like what my brain thinks of, and I just think in the back
sure.
of my head like I'm not an expert, so I'm probably half wrong. So I'm just gonna fade
I,
myself.
I don't know why, but I feel like when I'm taking a dog, I feel like I know something Vegas doesn't know, but when I take the favorite, I'm taking like what Vegas knows. Do you ever feel that way? I know that's not how it
Right,
works, but like,
like when you take Georgia minus 7.5, and you're like, I think that should be closer, but the spread is so
right,
big. Maybe they, yeah,
right, exactly.
exactly. Well, that was even well, I guess it didn't really work out that way, but like Alabama being such a slight favorite at Missouri, that scared me. Like
Yeah.
I thought they'd be more than 2.5 point favorites, but
I was listening to that game on the way down, and for some reason, I had it in my memory that we had it at 3. So I'm like, all right, yeah, Missouri at least got the push. And I went back and I checked. I was like, oh, son of that stupid half point,
yeah,
2.5.
that'll get you.
Yeah.
That'll get you. All right, Kurt. Well, you enjoy the rest of your vacation in Florida. Um,
Thank you,
Enjoy the
sir.
sunshine. It's supposed to be kind of cold and rainy here this week, so soak it up while you got it. But yeah, that'll do it, Gopher fans, for another preview episode of Sky U Pod. Please like and subscribe to our channel. You can find us on YouTube, X, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And please be sure to check out our partners website at thecollegehuddle.com for more podcasts, articles, and all things college football. So thanks again. Have a good night and go Gophers.